So what's going to happen now is you're going to get muted, Bread, so I'll see you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit. And now that we've got that done with, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 9 of the ALR race. ALR Aero League Racing Series. I've just been pinged. Don't worry, that's my stream going up. Okay, so we're here for round 9, Singapore. We all know what Singapore's like, to be honest. Singapore is gonna be quite an interesting one. See how many people actually make it to the end. How many people are going to have crashing into one another, how many people are going to have just crashing on their own. I'm sure it will be exciting from start to finish, especially with this lot. They always put on an interesting race, don't they? Quickly before we start, I'm just trying to find the standings and I will tell you the current order. Because obviously we have just come back from a 2-week break. So the last race was in fact Vietnam, which feels like forever ago now. So in the current lead of the championship is Tambi with 121 points. Second is Stan with 93. Third, Ladamala, who has been catching rapidly after 2 wins in a row, 76 points to his name. Fourth is Boomer with 69 points to his name. Nice. And fifth is still Vilho, hanging on to fifth at the moment with 61 points, but Swen is right behind him with 54. So only 7 points separate them, and that could easily be overturned even today. So he's got to watch himself a bit, Vilho. After that, we've got King David in 7th, Hyped in 8th, Wilt in 9th, Twanach in 10th, Ishtar 11th, Polhui 12th, Town 13th, Johto 14th, RDO 15th, so quite low down. He is actually in fact the lowest of the consistently turning up drivers, except for Hugh Sam, who's had a lot of DNFs to his name. Then 16th is Hailstone, who I actually haven't ever seen drive, interestingly. After that is Pesky, 19th is Dylan, 20th is Doogie Dude, 21st is Oswaldo, 22nd is Joe, who has only turned up for the last 2 races, but he has done very nicely so far, having started last in both races. 23rd is KDB FCW. I'm imagining that means Kevin De Bruyne for the win. If I'm wrong, then sorry. 24th is Egg, I'm going to call him because I don't know how to say that. 25 is Rick with 3 DNFs in the last 3 races, and 26th is Benny with 0 points to his name. So now that we're all caught up, it's actually 8 o'clock right now, so hopefully we can get readied up and that could be some good timing, but it doesn't really look like it. So that's quite unfortunate. We're gonna have to get some. Oh, just waiting for a couple of reserves to get in here. Yo, you should have told me I'd race. That would be quite interesting. Don't you think? You could see the whole race from my point of view. Oh well. I'm sure you guys would much prefer to see it from this point of view, where you can see everything that's going on today in this race. Being invited again by Boomer, have in fact already joined the lobby, but we move on. So I'm just gonna give me a second. I'll pull up the stream. I'll read out some of your guys' comments. That's tier 2 stream. Let's not be clicking that. Have I been? Hold on. I've got to amend that. That is wrong. How do I can't edit the name of the video. If someone is able to edit the name of the video, I've spelt tier wrong. Hello to Hyped and Agalos. Wherein I am. Huh? Hailstone left after like 2 races, I replaced him. Oh. I said where you were. I can't remember where you were. I said it though. Oh, and Hyped, I've heard that you know Michalizzi. He's someone that I race with. Well, I race in the same league as him. I race Aero and FRL with him, so yeah, I'm very familiar with him. He said when I was talking to him the other day that you knew each other. He said that you knows you from PSGL, I think it was. Tambi so pacey. Philho better win. Tambi is so pacey around Singapore. Sick. Tambi has some assists on. Ooh, what assists does Tambi have on? That's not good. But he is good. Best commentary right here. Ow. Yeah, obviously the best commentator going. No one's ever been as good a commentator as me. They should just sign me up for the real F1 broadcast, you know. Obviously. Just waiting on the loading screens because they take forever in this game. Yeah, so I think while we're waiting for people to come out during qualifying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the interview lounge. I'm just going to read out some of the answers to the questions that have been asked this week. So the first question this week was, how was your 2 weeks off? What did you get up to? Polwy replied with Among Us and school, in that order. Ishtar, Among Us and Warzone. Stan Ramosa, Stan, school and a lot of Netflix. RDO, Among Us, F2 Cup, work. Rick. Huh? Interesting response. I hated it. Never again. My Thursday and Tuesday evenings went to boring. 2. Stan Ramosa at Tambi at me. 3. Fast 4 Geo. Oh, I'm confused. Okay. Actually, no, I get it. Okay. So he says he hated it. His Tuesdays and Thursdays were boring. Kenny says just a lot of schoolwork and Among Us, with his Among Us profile picture. So question 2. Who will be on the podium this week at Singapore? Polwy, definitely both Williams. I wonder if he's joking or not. We do actually have both Williams here at least. That would be quite embarrassing if they didn't both turn up. Now who is that out first? I believe it's Hyped. It is Hyped, as usual. Okay, and we'll ride on board for his outlap. Oh, that was dangerously close to crossing the white line. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring up that, and that. Because they're interesting bits of information when you're in qualifying. Okay, so he says definitely both Williams. Ishtar says Stan Ramosa, Ladamala and Tambi. Stan says Bono, Ishtar, Ladamala and Tambi. RDO says Stan, Ladamala, Ishtar. Rick says Stan, Tambi and himself. Kenny says he has no clue. Very interesting there, Kenny. 3. What do you think the pole time will be this week? The time Ladamala will drive, says Polwy. Ishtar has no clue. Stan Ramosa says 2, 3 or 4 tenths quicker than him. RDO says 1 minute 33.7. Rick says fast. And Kenny says a lap time someone quick will set. That is usually a good indicator. Whew, only 2 drivers not on track right now. As we about to start this lap, we'll quickly go through number 4. Who do we think the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers will be next season? And Polby says Mick and Kimmy. Ishta says Mick and Kimmy. Stan says Mick and Kimmy. RDO says Gio and Mick. Rick says Gio and Schumacher. So Gio and Rick. Kimmy retires. And Kenny says Schumi and Kimmy. As we are now on a flying lap with hyped, but we have question number 5 to go through, so I'll read that one out instead because I don't really feel like commentating this man's banker lap. Question number 5 was, we have a run of 3 street tracks but here back to back in the middle of the season. Which of all the street tracks in this game is your favourite and why? Polby says Singapore most challenging. Ishta says Baku, I like the castle section. I think he's the only one. Stan says Singapore, it's challenging and has a good flow. RDO says Australia then Singapore, and I'm not sure if Australia's a street track, RDO. I've got to tell you that one, it's not really a street track, and on top of that, it is kind of a street track. It uses streets and roads, but it's not, you know, a full-on street track. It's kind of one of them hybrid tracks. It's not like this, but I give it to him, I guess. He doesn't give a reason either. Rick says Singapore best track of the calendar, and Kenny says Baku tricky and high speed, just his favourite. And that ends just about in time to see Hyped cross the line to set a 1:34.7 as the first lap of this session. It's almost like I timed that one like purposely or something. That was so good. And Ishta with a 35.6 comes in afterwards. Johto with a 35.3. There's a Haas about to cross the line. I don't know which Haas. It's not that Haas. Get there. It's not that Haas either. He's invalidated. Lots of people invalidated here. Strange. It's a street track. Coming across the line here is Polhui. He does a 34.8. Puts him second place at the moment. About to cross the line is... Hello? About to cross the line is Boomer, and then Swen with 36.4 and 38.5. Getting a bit messy here, isn't it, lads? Vilho starting his lap. Had a couple of cars on the way there, including Tambi, who's actually currently P3 with a 35.2. Let's see if he can get out of the way of Vilho. I'm sure Vilho will use the slipstream as long as he can get it. And at this point I've got to say it's probably blocking. Invalidated his lap, so this one will not count when we get to the end of the lap. He'll probably pit actually. I don't know, he has mediums on, so he might go for a second lap. BMG Parallax with a 38.8 on mediums is currently P9, and Wilt is currently P7 with a 36.6 on softs. Who's next across the line? I think it's actually Vilho, but it's not going to be Vilho because he invalidated his lap, so it's probably going to be Ladamala. Who, let's see if he's going to be able to take an early lead at this track. Great content here, great title. Hello from the German Rhine. Terrible lap. Yeah, RDO, the title is spot on. It's definitely not misspelt at all. Shaking my head. Our only chance was Rick being here, but he's not. He had fastest TT time by like 2/10. Had a 33.4. I'm trying to think what my time trial time is here. I think that's a fair bit quicker than mine is, but I don't really like this track on this game. Hello from the top mid-season entrant in Tier 3. Hello, Logie Bear. What date? 7th after only 4 races out of 8. Nice. Also, forgot to mention, Ladamala didn't complete his lap. But you can see that. I'm 5:30 fast TT. Nice. That's actually pretty good. 5:30. It's better than I am. I don't know. I guess there's some tracks I do better than that. I'm top 100 in a couple of tracks, but I'm not consistently up there. Damn, Shab's pipping me to victory in Vietnam. Yeah, that sounds unfortunate. I wouldn't know, I didn't watch Tier 3. Gonna be honest with you. So, yeah. Why is my wires all tangled up? We come to the end of the lap, Hype shows disconnects from the session, and Lord Alam with a 1:37.3 is in P8. Yeah, I just saw that hyped. That is quite unfortunate. Let's see what Kenny's up to. He's invalidated his lap is what he's up to. Tranach hasn't. Let's watch this. Very aggressive on the curbs, as you can see through this final sector, taking up as much space as he can. He revved out fifth a little bit too much there, I think. Runs out of VOS before the line and he slows down and stops. Why? I'm confused. Next across the line will be Stan, who gets provisional pole with a 34.5, taking it from Hyped. Wow. That's a really good lap for the beginning of. I said the beginning of quality. We are actually now 10 minutes in. We're actually over halfway through. So yeah, that's quite believable actually. 34.5, 8 minutes to go. That's alright. That's alright. But I'm sure the likes of Hyped and Ladamala will be definitely looking to beat that one quite convincingly, maybe, depending on if they can get it perfect. Just noticed that the Williams now has like a blue bit under the halo. Didn't notice that one before. So obviously had that added in the recent patch. RDO crosses the line and it's P6 with a 35.5, putting him just ahead of his teammate by 0.02 of a second. How's that for close? Very, very close. Who's furthest ahead? Kenny is furthest ahead, so he will be the next one out of our well, the guys who haven't set a lap yet to cross the line. As I'm assuming that's Polhui again cutting the track at turn 2. I think there should be a 2-session qualifying round, top 10 from Q1 advance to Q2. I don't know, that's kind of harsh on those midfield guys. I like it how it is. Very cautious to this final section from Kenny. Let's see, he's going to throw it into the final corner. Not quite as much as we've seen by others. He's going to cross the line, it's going to be P11 with the 36.8, but keep in mind he is on the medium tyres. Let's see what Vilho's up to. One of only 2 drivers not to set a lap time yet. He's currently on the soft tyre, getting very close to the walls through here. Very, very close to the walls. I think he even scraped it, so absolutely maximising the track's width as much as he can. Another example of it there. He's going to throw it into the final corner, running out of DRS. That's going to be P5 with a 35.1. Very nice lap there from the McLaren driver, currently 5th place in the championship and 5th place in this session. And we have confirmation that Hyped is joining back as we watch Ladamala on his lap coming through the final sector now. Only well, how many corners you get? That last corner, is that 1 corner? Is it like 4 corners? Is that 2 corners? I don't know. Coming into the last section now, he's going to turn left and he's going to cross the line. 1:35.2, 6th place on the medium tyre. So that is 7 tenths behind our current provisional pole time. on the mediums. That is very impressive from the Alfa Romeo driver here, and I think that's just really proving why he has been on top so far this season when he's actually been able to make it. I know that he was a reserve to begin with, and it shows why he's won the last 2 races straight. Can he make it a hat-trick of races, 3 in a row here today? I don't know what the record is in this league for the most consecutive wins, but I'm sure RDO will tell me. Yeah, very impressive. And now that everyone's settled up, I can focus on some other people now. Tamby coming into the pits. His teammate, Lord Alam, is not coming into the pits. He's crossing the line. I don't think he improved. Oh, he says he's checked. Okay. Who's going to be next? It's going to be DMG Parallax. Oh, he's invalidated his lap. Wait, I hope that's a glitched engine and not what he's actually doing. Polhui, Johto coming in. Lots of people invalidated. I wonder where they're invalidating, because it's not the easiest thing to do on this track, is invalidating. Oh, okay, so he won 3 in a row, so the record is 3 in a row, so actually Ladamala can equal that here today if he wins here in Singapore. I don't know why he's gone for mediums, but I know it's the better strategy here, but I kind of feeling like he should just do what everyone else does, because track position is really the most important thing here. Austria, Britain, Germany in a row, that's quite good. That is a good string of races to win as well. That's my favourite section of the calendar, I think, is Austria. Well, last year's calendar, sorry. Oh no, what's wrong, Hyped? Oh, he's back. Hello, Hugh Sam in the wall. Very, very interesting. That's not where he wants to be at all, to be honest. I'm going to watch some outboard shots now with the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. You joined someone else's lobby. That's quite funny. So coming into the final section of the track here for Twanach, he wants to get himself out of that last place position with this lap. Let's see, he's running out of ERS now, just before he hits the final 2 corners. Hyped baby, stay cool, you're P2. And he moves himself up into P13 with a 36.8 on the medium tyre. That is quite good for the medium tyre, however, it wouldn't matter unless he gets himself into that top 10, of course. Only 2 medium runners in the top 10 currently is Ladamala and Husam. Let's see who's next across the line. There's a Red Bull, but I think it's moving slowly. Yeah, he's got an invalidated lap. It is Stan. 20, yeah. I'm not sure if that's the lap that he's wanted. Whichever Alpha Tauri just crossed the line did not improve either. So I feel like people should be... it's kind of strange. They're all... what's the word I'm looking for? They're all on their flying laps already, but I would have expected more people to only just be on their outlap. We've only actually got 5 cars on their outlap, so a lot of the drivers choosing not to maximise the time they have left in this session. But as you can tell, the drivers that are doing that are the top end drivers of Hyped, Tambi, Vilho, Ladamala and Johto, all very good drivers, so it makes sense that these guys are doing that as Ladamala now begins his lap. But I'm going to stay on board with Stan as he completes this lap. Is it about to rain in this quali? Yep, rain is imminent. I wouldn't know if it's going to rain because I can't see the weather, unfortunately, which is something they should add. I don't know, maybe they should add it. I guess it's more exciting if you don't know, but at the same time I kind of want to know to give better insight on what strategies are probably going to happen. So as we come now into the final 45 seconds of this session, Polhui with a 134.5, putting him on provisional pole. Is Stan able to do anything about that? He is. So 134.1, putting him back onto provisional pole over Polhui. 3/10 quicker. I say 3/10. It's more like 4/10. It's like 3.8 tenths. But let's not get too into that as we ride on board with Ladamala now. Rain. Ooh, rain. That will make things interesting here at the end. This might cause us to find a few drivers out of position here at the end of this session. Lots of yellow flags on the track, that's for sure. I think it's just for slow moving cars. Yep, there's a drop of rain, I've seen it. Let's see what Ladamala is able to do even with this rain. He is on the soft tyre, so he took my advice. I don't know if he can hear me or not. I don't know if he's watching, but he did what I said he probably should. Gets away with no warning for that quite clear track cut there, and only moves himself up into P2 with a 34.3. Not quite able to match the time of Stan. As Boomer retires from the session, lots of people retiring in the pit lane now. Let's see what is Tambi able to do with his lap. Actually, who's ahead, Tambi or Hyped? Tambi is. RDO's retired. Yeah, look at that rain, it's starting to come down quite heavily now. It's going to be quite difficult for these guys to improve their laps with the rain getting heavier like this. So as people come and complete their laps and others are finishing them, let's see what Tambi's able to do. He's moved himself up into P5 with a 34.7. Not quite the jump I think he was going to be hoping to make. What's Hyped able to do is he goes super wide there on the exit of that corner. Very nice to see. No one else deciding to cut the track as much as Ladamala did, and it's unable to improve his height, so he's going to have to settle for P4. I think that means that Stan's pole position, as Polhui has invalidated his lap, unless BMG Parallax, who has also invalidated the lap, wants to do anything. So that means that Stan will sit on pole for round 9 here at the Singapore Grand Prix, and joining him on the front row is a familiar face of Ladamala, who you really think might be the favourite to win it today, especially if he keeps cutting the last corner like that. I'm so surprised it didn't actually. I'm so surprised it didn't get a cut, like, warning for that. It's so weird. Okay, and now we wait for the game because it's glitched and Cody's can't fix the game. Yay! Who's messaging me on WhatsApp? That's a bit late. That's literally 5 hours late. What's he on about? And here we go. It's the end of the session. So, having seen that qualifying session, I want you guys to all be leaving down your predictions on who the winner will be today. I've got to predict that it's going to be Ladamala. I think that's the safe bet, really. I know it's boring, but he's won 2 in a row. I really am going to put him as the favourite to match the current record of consecutive race wins in this league. Yeah, times were super spread out, but that's kind of expected at a track like this. He thinks winner Boomer, and okay, you don't think Ladamala will get anywhere near the front. Interesting. Very interesting. I could see an upset here. It's definitely one of those tracks where a small mistake, losing your front wing, could really change the course of the race. I'm sure we'll see plenty of lap 1 incidents. It wouldn't be Singapore without them, really, would it? Thinking back to, what year was it? 2017 or 2018, where the Ferraris wiped each other out along with Verstappen. I can't remember. One of those 2 years. Hyped, honestly, watch my start. Hyped, would you play on wheel or pad? Waiting for an answer. Pad no assist. There you go. That's why your starts are so OP. Don't worry, I'm on pad 2, so I know. can get some proper good starts with the pad, especially with no assists, because there's nothing holding you back like traction control or nothing. I love it when you just get a sick start. So, wasting no time here because apparently I'm not allowed to see the lights. Here we go, Stan Ramaza. Do you even run racing line hyped, or do you fully no assists? Parallax is already disqualified from the session. Nice. Let's hope he doesn't repeat that one into turn 1 on the actual start. Fully no assist, nice. I run pads with only racing line on corners, but I'm not turning it off just yet. Stan, it's James. You hate the line. I don't know. I mostly ignore it for like actual lines, but it's useful. I use, like, especially when people break marker boards and stuff, it's useful as a braking reference. Tambi win, you think? Interesting. I definitely think it could be someone that's not on the front row who wins, but it would take a lot for that to happen at this track. Quite hard to follow, especially with the dirty air. There's only really 1 or 2 overtaking spots if you're brave. I use line as I suck at judging brake. But no, see, I'm not that much slower without the line than with it, but I know, I just find it convenient to have it, especially in longer races where I start to lose concentration a bit. But I guess that's just something I've got to work on, right? As we're coming towards the end of this formation lap now, we shall see how the starts are going. I mean, you guys know who I'm cheering for, right? I wonder, who could it be? Latamala. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. It seems that the Italian has grown a very nice fan base recently. So as the grid is now forming itself up and we reach our 70th comment here. This race is so damn long, 30 will up one. Singapore, not Austria. Yeah, this is the longest race on the calendar. I think it's the only one in real F1 that ever dangers that 2-hour time limit that they have. While we're waiting, let's not do that actually. Let's wait for some lights. Let's see some lights. There's some lights. We have 5 lights. They go out and away we go. Looking for a good start for Stan. Ladamala's quick to tuck in behind, but his line, he's looking down the inside. He's given room by Stan. Just about given room by Stan. It looks like Vilho's already been involved in an incident. There's a 3 wides on the head run down to turn 4. Looking to be 4 wide there for a moment. Ladamala just about giving room for Polhi and getting clean ahead of the Racing Point driver already. Good start there from the top 4, all keeping their positions. Now down the inside goes Polhi on Ladamala. That looked a bit awkward, as Hypes now is fighting a bit with the Racing Point driver. Who saw that? Nice move there from Hyped. Jesus. Wow, that was close. He had to have some bravery to do that one. I'm not sure that's the kind of move I'd try and pull off on lap 1, but well done to him. He's got it off, and it looks like no one's got any damage. So moves himself up into the podium places as it stands. Now he's on the attack, looking right at the back of Ladamala, who has fallen back 6.5 tenths from Stan so far. So he's not had the best first lap ever, really. But I'm sure he has the pace to make that one up soon enough. So yeah, Vilho going down to last, and Kenny also down towards the back. So something's obviously occurred between those guys. Very unlucky. Vilho has not had the greatest season ever, and I think that was a touch of the wall from Ladamala. Has he got damage? Let's see, but it looks like Hyped is lining up a move on him. I don't think Ladamala does have damage, just Ladamala, I think, is able to keep Hyped behind him quite easily. Hyped is ghosting. Does that mean Stan's ghosting? Loads of people are ghosting. Why are people ghosting? I don't know. It's confusing me. Everyone's ghosted. What is going on? As Hyped now lines up a move on Ladder Mala down the inside. He's going to try and go at turn 5. Just about enough room given by both drivers. He's going to go around the outside of turn 6. Not really ideal there, but it's where he made his move last lap. Not able to work out for him this time round though. He's going to have to tuck back into 3rd place behind the Alfa Romeo. Please don't try it into here. He's tried it into here. That is very aggressive move, but it has moved himself up into P2 cleanly. So he's already looking to go forwards in this race, and Ladder Mala has not quite had the start we'd have expected from him given his recent performances. Anyway, still 29 laps to go, and we have a virtual safety car for Parallax. What's happened to him? No front wing. I think either he's hit a wall somewhere quite heavily or he's missed his braking point. I don't know what's happened to him, but that is very unlucky for the man sporting the Sebastian Vettel helmet there. Now, is anyone going to take this opportunity to pit for hard tyres? Oh, Ladder Mala is, and he's followed by Polhi. I told you. Well, Hyped sometimes overtakes people by scaring them. Yeah, well, it's a genuine tactic, isn't it? Oh no, and that is not good for those guys who've just pitted as the safety car, the virtual safety car, sorry, has ended at what must be the worst moment for them. And Hyped is already looking for a move on the race lead. He's pushed out very wide there. Not sure that enough room was given for him there, but he has now moved himself up into the lead of this race ahead of Stan, who's going to try and come back at him. Tambi getting involved there. Small lock up from Stan, and that's allowing Tambi to get alongside. He's going to try and go around the outside of turn 6. They collide. Slide there from Stan as he's lost a 2nd place in 2 corners. Down into 3rd. You're leading 2 are now Hyped and Tambi. Very unfortunate there for Stan, as it looked like he just got it all a bit wrong with the amount of room that was being left, and that caused him to half spin. Luckily he caught it and is able to continue in 3rd, because the alternative there could have been he ended up in a wall and last place. So I'm sure he is glad he only ended up losing 1 position, but he's already dropping off the back. He's already a 2nd between him and Tambi, but RDO is falling back behind. What happened to him? I saw him battling with Ishtar. Has he got damage? Doesn't look like he does. So maybe just a mistake from the Williams driver here, dropping him down to 6th place. Very crazy still in this midfield here. Look at that train. Wow. As Hyped sets the fastest lap of the race. I'm now the party owner. That is interesting information. Okay, so let's see if anyone's able to make a move into here. This is probably the worst camera angle it could have shown me. Luckily, no one tried anything and I didn't miss out on anything. But Boomer is all over the back of Ishtar here, so he might be looking for a move into turn 4. DRS opens now, as RDO doesn't have DRS on Boomer, so that's going to be difficult for him to defend. Coming up the hill, Boomer decides not to go for a move. What's going to happen behind him though is we have very close stuff here between Husam and Lord Alam. Looks like, oh, that's a mistake there from Lord Alam. Is that going to allow Swen to get a move on him? No, just about kept ahead, but that's 3 seconds for Husam for multiple warnings. So he's abusing those track limits a bit more than the stewards would like, apparently, as Twanat's taking a slightly scary line through there. DRS opens for the 2nd time. It looks like we've got a move potentially ahead. Nope. Keeping in the same order for now. Let's see, that's a very aggressive line there from Husam. Maybe he's just trying to make sure he's close behind. When he gets to that start-finish straight, Tambi with a 3-second time penalty, Ishtar with a 3-second time penalty, Hyped with the fastest lap of the race as Parallax leaves the session. Is that a disconnect or is that a rage quit? Oh, very wrong there from RDO. I think that's going to give Husam the opportunity to come down his inside into turn 1. Thinks better of it, does not want to make the move there just yet. He is on harder tyres than RDO currently is, and that's very wide there from Lord Alam. Sven having a look up the inside, doesn't get anything from it though, and gets a 3-second time penalty for his troubles. Now very close here between Husam and RDO. They've touched, and that's RDO into the wall. He's definitely got damage there, so that's going to hold up this entire train as Lord Alam comes down the inside of Husam. I think Husam's probably to blame for that incident. He did come across very aggressively while right behind RDO, and RDO just about keeping himself ahead. Lord Alam very aggressive there. Where'd RDO go? He's still there. He's just about held on to it. He was very close to the wall there. I got a bit worried for a second. As Husam now looking at Lord Alam once again. Does get ahead with DRS. As Lord Alam with a big dive. That's contact between those two now. As everyone is swamping the damaged RDO, who I'm sure has to pit this lap to fix that. The Haas Twan actually very deep there. Let's see what that means for the action behind. Side by side between Kenny and Wilt there. Wilt getting ahead. As Tambi with a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As him and Hyped have both come in for their first stop. Oh, I think RDO wants to come into the pits. Wilt doesn't, and that's caused a bit of contact. Wilt doesn't look like he's received damage from that one though. So gets away with it this time. Very early stop from our leaders then. Let's see where they feed back out. It will be behind the earlier stoppers of Stan and Ladamala, I believe. In fact, Hyped will come out behind Ladamala but ahead of Stan, but Tambi will feed in just behind Stan for now. So a very, very eventful pit stop window there for these guys. And I'm sure Hyped will be trying to catch up the time to Ladamala that he has lost. Ladamala, of course, in the net lead of this race as it stands. I'm sure that little bit of virtual safety code helped him out a bit there. It didn't seem like it would too much because it ended very quickly, but he did obviously get some kind of benefit from that. And also the fresh tyres, clean air would have helped him out a lot while the guys at the front were fighting. Round the outside attempt from Husam, very close to a wall. He's not really given room, and that's allowing both Sven and Twanach to get through on him. Very aggressive driving from these drivers here so far. Not really what you want to see at a track such as Singapore, where the walls are so close. Fighting like that can easily get you damage, and that isn't really what you want to see, as that is Lord Alam coming into the pits for his first stop of the race, and Husam fighting Twanach. He's not gone for the move this time as his teammate Ladamala's come right up behind him. He's lost it on the curb, and that's allowed Ladamala through to take 5th place from him. So that will be probably the easiest move Ladamala has to make all evening. Didn't even have to work for it, so I'm sure he will take that one very happily. So as you see, the current tyres they're on, this is the number of stops that each driver has made so far in this race. It's very, very aggressive driving from Kenny and Polwy. Polwy getting the better of that situation this time around. Hyped, stuck behind, not for much longer as he dives down the inside of Kenny. The gap was there and he went for it. He's making his way back up the top 10 to try and close that gap to Ladamala ASAP. RDO 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, I'm going to follow Hyped for a second here because it looks like Wilt has made a mistake. Luckily he ghosts, otherwise that could have been a 3-car crash there, and I think he's done that all on his own. So that's a free position for both Polhui and Hyped there, moving up into 7th and 8th respectively. Okay, so no real move here as Johto retires from the session. What's this going to do for the race? It's looking like it's in a dangerous position. There's Parallax is coming up to him. That's not who I'm looking at. But it does tell me that Kenny has pitted. So still yellows in sector 2. I'm not sure if there's going to be a safety car as Ishii gets another 3-second time penalty. Yeah, I saw Johto crash. No move there for Hyped. After all the aggressive moves he's made so far, he decides not to go for that one. Will he go for it here though? Round the outside of turn 5. No, he's pushed off wide by Polhui, but he has still kept it alongside as we come into turn 6. We've seen him go around the outside there. He's now gone down the inside. He's around the outside of turn 7, and he's not really left the room for Polhui. Spinning round the other Racing Point driver. Not a good race for Racing Point at the moment. I'd say that Polhui probably deserved a bit more room there than he was given. Very silly racing from these guys so far, as that's a mistake from Husam, allowing Hyped back up into 6th place. Of course, 2nd place out of the people who have stopped in this race. He's looking. Oh, so that would be a very silly move to make on the Haas driver through there. He's thought better of it this time round. Small lock up there as we come into the chicane. Now coming into the final corner. Is he going to be able to set up a run through onto turn 1? He's got DRS is open and he's already ahead before we even get to turn 1. So move himself up into 5th, making some quick progress here in this race as Husam gets a 3-second time penalty and Lord Alam also gets a 3-second time penalty. Both for multiple warnings this time round. So here is Ladamala, Swen and then Hyped in the background. You can see that is the gap between P1 and P2, net P1 and net P2 in this race. So as Tambi gets past Stan, so Tambi has now moved himself up into a net P3 currently. Let's see if he's able to clear this traffic as quickly as the others did earlier on. As someone's got wing damage. I'm not sure who's got wing damage. I think that might be Twanach. Received a bit of wing damage on the wall there. It does look like he's missing an M plate from this point of view. I'll get to see it. Yeah, he's missing his right M plate, so he's hit the wall hard there and he's lost a bit of front wing as a result. This is allowing others to close up to him, but it's also allowed Tambi to look for a move on Husam, and he's up the inside. Easy move there for the current championship leader. Next in his sight is the damaged Twanach, so I'm sure he will make light work of. And Stan's looking for a move up into the tunnel. He's got past. Very nice move there from Stan. Okay, so now as we ride back on board with as Twanach is going to come into the pits actually, so Tambi does not have to make a move on him, and next up the road for him is Hyped. The gap is currently 5 seconds as Hyped is now caught up to the back of Swen very quickly. 7/10 at 6/10 as we come into the second DRS zone of the lap. Run up into turn 4. I call it turn 4. I know it's technically turn 5, but I don't count the little right-hander between turns 1 and 3. I don't count that as a corner. So that's a very nice move up the inside from Hyped. Is Swen able to get the switch back? No, not quite. So that is up into P4 in this race for Hyped. The next car up the road for him is Ladamala, 4 seconds ahead. As Husam gets back past Stan. So I wonder what's happened to Stan here. He's dropped off the back of Tambi quite significantly. He's got damage, I think. I think Stan has some right has some end plate damage. No, he doesn't. Just me. I'm stupid. It looked from that point of view like he might. But he's going to have a much better run off of that corner than Husam is. DRS is open, slipstream of course. Is he going to be able to make a move into this next corner? He's gone for his nice dive there. And he's kept it ahead on exit, so that's back up into P7 for Stan in this race. The drivers yet to stop are Ishtar, Boomer, Swen and Husam, who are all currently on the medium tyre. In fact, the only drivers not on the medium tyre right now are Twanach and BMG Parallax, at both at the back of the grid, so it's not quite working out for them as it stands. And that is Husam coming into the pits for the first time this race. I'm assuming he's going to put on some softs. There's a Hyped rapidly catching Ladamala, but 7/10 on the last lap caught, but Ladamala is coming up to the back of Boomer, so he'll be getting a little bit of dirty air from the car ahead, but he will also get DRS on the straights, so it's all going to be, if he can get past that traffic quickly without losing too much time to Hyped behind. As Husam has now dropped back to P14 after P15 after that stop. If he probably won't drop to P16, I'd imagine. He has now come out of the pits in P15. A long way ahead of BMG Parallax, who's actually not that far off of getting lapped in this race. He's only about it's only about 4 corners ahead of our leader currently, Ishtar. As Ladamala is past Boomer with relative ease. Doesn't look like he lost much time there with that move, so he'll be happy to keep it clean as he moves his way up into P2. Of course, still a net P1 in this race. Now I'm sure at this point Hyped will be begging that the cars ahead pit for some fresh tyres. Whether they will or not is another question, as they both go on for another lap. This will be their this would be the 12th lap on their set of tyres. However, the one-stop strategy is now available from mediums to hards. So that means that these guys will only have one stop in this race, which actually will technically mean that Ishtar is the net leader of this race, with Ladamala second and Boomer in third. Hyped down in fourth as Ladamala now making a move for the lead on Ishtar. Ishtar doesn't put up much of a fight. It's not really worth it, and behind Boomer, same story with Hyped. So Ladamala is now up into the lead of this race. Hyped moves himself back onto the podium as they navigate these one-stoppers. It would be crucial for these two drivers to get past, well, Ladamala already has, as Kenny gets a 3-second time penalty. It would be crucial for Hyped to get past Ishtar as soon as possible, because these one-stoppers will get in his way towards the end of the race if he cannot clear them on pace alone. If Ishtar pits this lap, it will probably be better for Hyped, as he will probably be slightly faster on those even warm mediums than Ishtar can manage to do on some hards. The hards around here are quite bad, which is why many drivers you've seen go for the 2-stop, even though it's not technically the best strategy. Hyped's now very close to the back of Ishtar. He's going to be begging that the Williams comes into the pits at the end of this lap so that he can be released onto the back of Ladamala, who so far in this race he has looked a bit faster than quite an aggressive swipe across the front of the Renault car there from Ishtar, but Ishtar does now pit as Husam gets the 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. It's not even multiple warnings, flat out corner cutting. Crazy. So all of these drivers, as Hyped now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, his first penalty of the race. So all of those drivers will now switch onto hard tyres. There you go, hard tyres go on. And they feed back out in waiting for them to still come out. 9th and 10th place as Hyped has left the session. He's disconnected while closing down our leader Ladamala. That is really just the story of this man's season right now. How many times is he disconnected from a potential winning position? and this is going to lose him time to his hard tyre runners too. So this is the worst case scenario for him right now, unfortunately. Hopefully Hype can get back in here quick. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to give him an invite. I will try my best to get one to him quickly, so you guys will miss a little bit of action while I do that. His game crashed. Wow, he didn't disconnect, his game crashed. That's insane. I know F1's been known to do that on occasion, but I've never seen it happen quite like that. Here we go. Hyped skulls. There we go. Invite sent. Hopefully he can get back into the session as soon as possible. As he's currently being caught by Tambi quite rapidly, he's dropped back off Ladamala 3 seconds in the last lap. He's going to want to get back into the session as soon as humanly possible before that Ferrari comes past him. Ferrari is now in DRS's range. He says he'll still win in the comment section. I'm sure he believes that one himself. As now he's down in P3 because Tambi gets past him. I did see some of your moves, but it may be too many moves that you have to pull off by the time you get back in here if you don't get back quick. As Stan is now looking at the back of that Renault, thinking that he's got an easy overtake on his hands. And it's looking like he actually does have a very easy overtake on his hands, as he's now moved himself up onto the podium. Hyped is now down to P4 in this race. Polhui closing in as well on the hard. Wait, is Polhui on the hards? No, Polhui's on the mediums, I think. Yeah, Polhui's on the mediums. The first hard tyre run is Ishtar. And Hype's still yet to close back. Well, Hype's still yet to get back into the session. It's looking like he might lose another position on this lap as Polhui moves himself into DRS range. Tambi has already stopped, yes. Still joining, he says, as Polhui now DRS open, still unable to catch up to the Renault on the straight, so maybe that's showing that the setup here may be slightly different between the two drivers, but that is now P4 for Polhui, P5 for Hyped. This is not what he would have wanted coming into this race, but as we see Boomer closing onto the back of Ishtar, Ishtar of course being on the hard tyres. And Boomer, I think, is on the hards. I don't remember. Yeah, Boomer's on the hards. So this is for pure position in this race between the one stoppers, as we have Twanach, I think it is. No, it's the other Haas of Kenny. Going slowly at the beginning, he has got back on track and is going once again. I don't think there's any damage to that car. There is. He's got front left. He's got a left end plate missing on his front wing. Tambi looks like he's closing in our leader a bit here, so it'll be interesting to watch how that one plays out with this race going on as it is. We are just over the halfway point in this race currently, so still all to play for these drivers. Wilt gets a 3-second time penalty. Hey, look on the bright side, Hyped, your tyres will be a bit fresher, and what was I thinking? I was thinking something. I'm pretty sure he'll come back with pretty much a full battery, because I'm not sure how the AI are at using overtake mode. He's going to make some moves, he says. So watch out for that one. We will be covering them as they come. There's a parallax is lapped here by Tambi. The gap between Hyped and Polhui is currently 6 seconds. So when he comes back, he's going to have to be instantly on the pace. Otherwise, he may miss out on that win that he's been searching for in the last few races. And there's just, either through luck or mistakes, not managed to grab. Not really too many battles going on right now. We have Ishtar on the back of Lord Alam. Doesn't go for a move just yet. This little train here actually is about all that's going on in this race right now. As Ladam Mala pits for the second time in this race, as does Stan. So I think this is them trying to go to the end, as is Polhui, as Hyped has now joined back into the session. Just ahead of Vilho. So he joined. If he joined back a little bit later, he might have found himself under pressure from that McLaren a bit more. So I think he's going to be quite glad to be back on lap 17 of this race. As there's a car coming out of the pits, Stan coming out right into this traffic that we've been watching here, just to manage to avoid contact with any of these drivers, luckily for him. Wow, if that couldn't have been any closer between those guys, could it? He's going to go, he's not going for the move into turn 4. In turn 5! Jesus Christ, Will, what are you doing? What was that? That was a huge dive from Wilt there on the AlphaTauri of Swen. Didn't even work out for him either, so it was just a bit unnecessary, to be honest. Luckily, it doesn't look like either driver received damage from the incident, and neither have they lost too much time, as they're still on the back of Stan. Stan getting held up so much by this traffic. This will not help him at all, with him trying to come out ahead of Hyped, as he moves himself ahead of Boomer now in the second AlphaTauri. Still 2 cars left to clear in this train. I'm sure he'd be hoping he can have both of them cleared by the end of next lap. He should do. Taking much better lines than the Williams driver through there. And that's Polhui. Oh, Wilt's gone round. That's why Polhui took a strange line through there. Oh, kicking up the debris there. That could cause a puncture later on in this race if they're not careful. Stan makes his way past Ishtar, who he didn't see, so this should be the last move of the train past Lord Alam here. DRS open. Alam goes defensive. He turns in and there was contact. There's more contact. He's round. Stands in the wall. No! As Boomer retires. I think he collected Boomer on his way through. He did. Look at that. There's a virtual safety car as Stan, who was tagged by Lord Alam, has collected Boomer, and this has caused both of them to retire from the race. Stan, who was in a podium position, and I'm sure the top 2 might think that this is their chance to pit. As Tambi comes into the pits, as I thought, is Hyped going to be able to get to the pit lane before the virtual safety car ends? Is he going to be able to take advantage of this situation? Very unfortunate for both Stan and Boomer there. I'm sure Lord Alam will have some questions to answer after the race in the Discord, as Hyped does manage to make it into the pits before the virtual safety car ends, but only just. It's not going to save him very much time at all, I don't think. How is that not a full safety car? I don't know, because this game is weird. That's how, Logie Bear. Let's see, where is Hyped going to feed back out? Looking like it's going to be P5, I think. It is P5 behind Sven the Men. Okay, RDO with another 3-second time penalty in this race. Who here is close to someone else on track? No one really. So Hyped now has 5.5 seconds to catch to get to the back of Sven, who is on the hard tyre, so that should definitely be possible with these fresh mediums that he's just put on once he gets them up to temperature with a small lock up there. So he's already caught half a second up, gap now to 5 seconds after only one sector. If he continues on this pace, I'm sure he will be past Sven in no time at all and have his sight set on the racing point of Polhui. Go Ladamala. Yeah, he's found himself in the lead of this one, but he's got Tambi 3.5 seconds behind, and I'm not sure. Tambi, I think, is on fresher tyres, so he will have a pace advantage. Looking at it, it's not really got much of a pace advantage at all, so maybe not. Yeah, he had to change the wing. Tambi had the advantage of safety car, but is still in first. Good job. Yeah, very good job from him today. Second half, well, the second part of this race has been much more we've come to expect from Ladamala this season. It's a big corner cut there from Hyped. I'm not sure he's getting away with those. As Vilho gets past Twanach on those fresh tyres. Vilho in P6 after a very poor start, getting turned around at turn 1. Hyped now only 3 seconds behind. In a single lap he's caught about 3 seconds, so he's absolutely flying right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that he's got a new fastest lap of the race in a second. Very wide there though. I don't think that's quite what he meant to do. That's going to cost him time. Not very often we see a mistake like that from any of these guys, really. Just seemed like he turned in a bit too late. Maybe he's still struggling with tyre temps and a bit of grip. Kenny with the 3-second time penalty. He is down in P13 as it stands. Tambi with the 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial come the end of this race. Ladamala with the fast lap with the 1:38.4. Wilt with the 3-second time penalty. Now, is Hyped able to do anything about that fastest lap that Ladamala just set? He is not. Ladamala currently the fastest man in this race. Hyped now within DRS range of Sven. I'm sure he'll be looking for the fastest route past the AlphaTauri he can find. Let's hope that he doesn't get it wrong though, as we've seen so many people do so far in this race. He's dummy to the outside, switches to the inside, locks up a bit, pushes Sven wide, but he is now ahead and up into P4 in this race. He has 8 seconds to the next car, which is Polhui. He's going to charge on and try to catch him as fast as he can. Now I'm going to switch to Ishtar, who's battling with Lord Alam, the culprit of the incident with Stan and Boomer. Very close between these two cars here, but not close enough for a move to be made this time round. Of course, keep watching that gap between our leaders as Tambi is catching Ladamala very slightly. Is Wiltz, that's the fastest lap of the race, at 37.6. That's a mistake from Lord Alam, and that allows Ishtar through in a very unconventional place to make a move. Hyped wants a safety car. Yes, he does. Depends if he can keep up some kind of good pace. If he can keep pumping in laps that are a second or so faster than the cars ahead, he might be able to get there before the end of this race. In fact, no, he won't. There's only 9 laps left. Well, I guess 8 laps. No, sorry, 10 laps left. But he's still about 19 seconds behind the lead here. So a safety car would definitely help him out a lot. Wow, he must have lost like over 20 seconds from that disconnect. Very harsh disconnects in this game. But you've got to deal with them. Ishtar ahead of Husam, who's retired. Looks like he retired in the pit lane. Yes, he did. So he's obviously just given up on this race. As we came on board to witness this between Twanach and RDO. RDO losing out this time. But he's going to have the better exit through the hairpin, I think, and he's going to have DRS to help him out as well. I think they're running the same helmet, these two. Very interesting. I think they're running the exact same helmet, even the same colours. So that's I don't know if that's cool. I don't know what they think about that, to be honest. That's a big corner cut there from Twanach. Husam left the session and Twanach receives a 3-second time penalty for that big corner cut that even I spotted. Comment. Same helmet, surely that's a rule violation. Maybe, but I'm not sure in league racing that it really matters that much. It's just kind of funny to spot from here. It is, look, it is the identical helmets. That's quite funny. As Ishtar gets a 3-second time penalty and RDO moves himself up into P7 in this race, ahead of Twanach. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone who is currently in this race has made their final stop. So I think this is the actual order of the grid with these 8 laps to go. Let's see, quite a big field spread now, so it's going to be quite hard to find a... Hold on! How has that happened? Tambi! He's now less than a second behind Ladamala. Has Ladamala made a mistake? That would be quite uncharacteristic from him. Very strange. I didn't expect Tambi to be this close behind already. Maybe in a few more laps time, but I didn't think right now. I was thinking this was a battle that would play out at the end of the race. But here we have it. Now. Tambi has the better pace. I know he had better pace, but I didn't think it was this much quicker. Of course, don't forget he does have penalties. So, that could play into it at the end if he doesn't get past Ladamala as quickly as he would like. This time round, not an opportunity for him. As there's a lock up there from Ladamala. Every little mistake he makes now is going to be an opportunity for Tambi, who's hungry for this win to protect his championship lead. Of course, Ladamala also hungry for this win. He wants to equal the record. For consecutive race wins. We now see DRS open on the red car of Tambi, driving the number 2 car, 48 of Ladamala ahead. Ferrari power versus Ferrari power, Ferrari versus Alfa Romeo. Not that it matters, all cars are equal in this game. Very close between these two, 6/10 for about the last lap. So maybe Dirty Air's getting the better of Tambi just slightly. Maybe the pace difference here isn't big enough to make the move. As Hyped closes in on Polhui with every second. 5/10 now the gap. There's only a few corners before the next DRS zone. If he's able to keep that close, he's got half a chance of a move into turn 4. He's not quite been able to here. Back to 7/10 the gap. but he's going to open DRS. He's going to try anyway. No, he's not close enough. He's closed into about 4/10 there, but it's not enough to make a move this time around. Kenny with another 3-second time penalty. If he's not careful, he could lose to Parallax, and that would be quite embarrassing with the gap between them being 32 seconds. I know Parallax also has penalties, so I doubt it, but it's always possible. Lock up there from Ladamala, that's going to cost him a bit through this section. Is this going to be a chance for Tamby? 4/10 is the gap as we run through this DRS zone. No, he's not able to close up enough this time around. Using up way more of the track than the car ahead though. Definitely the faster of the two drivers in this situation. Now I'm sure that Hyped wants Ladamala to hold up Tamby as much as he can. So he has half a chance of catching up before the end of this race. But I think Hyped should set his sights on Polhui and not expect too much more out of this at the moment. Because 10 seconds between Polhui and this battle here right now. Moving into the second DRS zone of the lap. This is the best opportunity to overtake on the entire circuit. 5/6 is the gap. It's closing all the time though as he opens that DRS. He doesn't go for it this time round. He's going to stick behind for just a little bit longer. As Hyped disconnects again. Oh no. That is so unfortunate from the Renault driver. The second time this race that he's disconnected, and it's first time it cost him the chance of a win, and this time is it going to cost him the chance at a podium? I think it might. I'm going to see what happens this time around. If Tamby doesn't make the move, which she's not, I'm going to invite him back. Invite sent. So now hopefully he can get back into the session and still challenge for that podium, but it's looking less likely with every second that passes. Tamby with a big corner cut there, trying to close up to the back of Ladamala. I'm not sure how necessary that was from the Ferrari driver, as Ladamala actually is closing up to a back marker, so he might be able to defend with a bit of DRS if he gets close enough to the back of Wilt, who is currently running P11 in this race. The game is so rigged. I'm not going to show the penalties, as Tamby now goes for the move on Ladamala. Down the inside he goes. He's made the move stick up into turn 6. We go. Your AI got front wing damage. Ah, that's so stupid. That's so unlucky, mate. You deserve better today. But here we have our championship leader Tamby now ahead in this battle for the lead. Ladamala behind with DRS. Had orange wing that whole time. I don't think we can give Hyped any consolation points, otherwise we'll be handing them out everywhere. Looks like Tamby's about to break that DRS. Is he able to do it before the detection point? It doesn't look like he will, but he will probably have DRS from Wilt to defend with. He doesn't. He actually doesn't, as Wilt gets the speeding in the pit lane penalty. So Ladamala able to just keep inside of that DRS range. That could help him try and mount an attack towards the end of this race. There's Hyped now 13-14 seconds behind Polwy. This I don't think could be recovered with the time remaining in this race. And Sven closing in very quickly. This could be as Vilho is actually right behind Sven. Let's watch this. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. Stan finally leaves the session. He's had enough. He's seen how this race is going. And Vilho, DRS open behind Sven on the hard tyres. I think Vilho here is on the medium, so he does have the advantage at the end of this race here. 3 laps to go. Guess who's back? Nice. So if Hyped does get back into the car quickly, he should be able to defend from Sven and Vilho, who we're watching right now, to keep that P4. Guess who's back? Back again. Scholes is back. Tell a friend. Vilho looks like he's just dropping off the back of Sven right now. He's not able to keep there in that dirty air. Look at that big mistake into the chicane. 8 retirements in Tier 2. That is crazy. We only have 4 currently in Tier 1. Wow, 7 or 8 retirements. 8. So that's 8 retirements. I guess it is Singapore, but that's still crazy. But here we have Sven ahead of Hyped, but Hyped is back in the car, so this should be, for the last 3 laps of this race, the fight for P4. I'm sure Hyped will have the pace here over the hard tyre runner of... Why is he weaving so much? The hard tyre runner of Sven. He pulls to the inside, he makes the move, and he's through. He's locked up though, he spun! And nearly collects Vilho. Wow, that was so close. Vilho, incredible reactions there to avoid a bigger incident that could have wiped the pair of them out of this race, which would have brought us up to 6 retirements, dangerously close to that 8 from Tier 2. Wow. Tier 3, 19 retirements. Just sums up your race. Ah, that is so unlucky from Hyped, who at one point in this race was looking like he could win, but instead disconnections and game crashes decide that he's not going to get it, and it's going to have to be another disappointing race from the Renault driver today, who just wants some points. He just wants some points, to be honest, with how his season's been going. His teammate gets the fastest lap of the race just for good measure, down in P11 though, so in real F1 that wouldn't count for anything. I'm not sure if it does in this league or not. It's different between leagues, so I don't want to say anything. We have Kenny in the pits, probably going for a last lap, fastest lap. See if you can get it. As Vilho has now properly dropped off the back of Sven after that little incident earlier. But what we do have here is Ladamala 2 seconds behind Tambi. Now, unless something dramatic happens, I know who I'm putting money on to win this race. But anything can happen here. It's Singapore and we still have a lap and a bit left to go. It's just a lock up from Ladamala getting distracted by the back marker there. I know they're ghosting, but I still think back marker should really move out of the way just to stop, especially at corners like that where it's so hard to spot the apex through a ghosted car. Costing Ladamala half a second there to our leader Tambi. As for Tambi, started P5 in this race, and he has driven brilliantly all race. He's made moves when he's had to. His strategy calls have been spot on, getting a bit lucky with the virtual safety car, but I mean, luck's always involved when it comes to this kind of thing, so I'm sure he won't be complaining about it too much. What counts is he is currently in the lead of this race with the final lap. He's actually at the end of the first sector of the final lap, so we will ride on board, but will his penalties cost him the win here, or will he be able to keep this victory for himself and extend his lead at the top of the championship? He is currently 3.2 ahead, which one penalty is 3 seconds, but I think he's actually picked up 2 so far this race, and I'm not sure if Ladamala's even seen 1, so this might not be enough as we come through to the final sector of the lap. He's been great, he's had the good strategy, but will he win? Will penalties let him down in this race? We're about to find out. Only 3 corners to go in this race as his teammate Lord Alam receives a 3-second time penalty. Penalties are going to be what matters here as we ride on board with Tambi as he crosses the line. Fireworks go, but are they going to be for him? They're not. Ladamala picks up the victory because of the penalties Tambi had, and that will mean that Tambi loses the win, and Ladamala, I think that's enough to move him up into second in the championship. But not only that, he has matched the record of 3 wins in a row for a driver in this league. Incredible stuff from Ladamala recently. He's been at the top of the field as interesting. As Sven crosses the line for P4, and I think this is hyped actually out of fuel with Vilho right behind him. Vilho's going to get him on the line for P5. That could have not gone any worse for hyped. He loses P5 on the line even because of fuel. Pushing too hard throughout the race after all of the many incidents and the disconnections. So unfortunate for him today, but he picks up P6 in this race. Driver of the day, Sven the Mem. Yeah, he probably, I forget where he qualified, but he probably deserves that one, I'd say. Yeah, great job for Ladamala, making it 3 in a row. Wow. Just wow. That's all you can say, really. Qualified P2. Obviously, Stan, who qualified on pole, was taken out of this race by Tambi's teammate. Oh, I think he was a reserve, so I think he was only teammate for this race, Lord Alam. But this stuff happens, as Kenny did pick up the fastest lap of the race at the end there with a 37.5. So here you have it. Ladamala is your winner. Tambi with 12 seconds of penalties compared to Ladamala's 0. That is what cost him the win today. Polhui P3 also with penalties, but only 1 this time round. Sven 1 penalty. Vilho 1 penalty. Hyped with the most unlucky race I think I've ever seen. Picked up 1 penalty. RDO with 2 penalties. Twanach with 3 penalties. Ishta with 5 penalties. And Alam, the last person to be lapped, with 3 penalties. Also our last points scorer in this race. I'm going to quickly flick through the race director here. I'm probably not going to get to see all of it, but no. If anyone needs a penalty removed that occurred in the first 8 laps, there you go. What a race we've had today. We've had many ups and downs all race. We've had moments where we didn't have a clue who was going to win. We've had moments with leaders crashing. We've had moments where non-leaders have been crashing, but at the end of the day, that's just your standard race at Singapore, I think. Exciting as ever, as we've come to expect from this tier. I honestly a bit lost for words. Well done to Ladamala on his victory. Definitely deserved it. Although I'd say there's probably maybe 3 or 4 drivers who would have deserved to win today, but Ladamala's the one who came out on top. Very unlucky for Stan, who walks away with no points after a retirement that was not his fault in the slightest. But apart from that, I think that's all I can really say about this race. So of course the Tier 2 stream happened at the same time as this one. However, you can catch the Tier 3 stream on Sunday at 8 o'clock, same as this one. And the Sprint League will be happening on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So make sure you tune in for those. Of course, those are British time. So thank you all for coming and watching. It's been a pleasure to commentate for you today. Yeah, I saw 5 seconds in 3 laps. Yep. Thank you all for the kind words in the chat. Wow, only 3 cars in 30 seconds. Yeah, crazy. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next week for, I'll actually look up which race we've got next week. Calendar. Next week for Baku, running the end of this 3 street tracks in a row. We've had Vietnam, Singapore, and next week is Baku, so I'll see you all then. Thank you once again, and goodbye.